Hotseat.
On the Hot Seat, we tackle the toughest business questions, addressing the most pressing issues our business community faces today. We dive into the core of business growth and strategic development. Whether you're launching a startup, managing a growing business, or refining an established enterprise, we're here to provide you insights that you need. Get ready for candid conversations and practical advice that you can implement today. Stay with us and let's grow your business together.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Christian.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I am just trying to work out the camera angles here, but I'm not sure what's going on. But it's great to see you, darling.
Good to see you too. Welcome to today's Hot Seat session.
I know, the hot seat, our favorite time of the week.
Where we deep dive into how to develop a business growth strategy that not only works but thrives in today's dynamic market.
Wow. That sounded so professional, Lucy.
I am so professional. I also want to tell you to stay tuned as we not only explore the key strategies, but also offer you an exclusive framework to implement these strategies effectively and to make sure that you listen to the very end so you can grab a copy of this essential toolkit.
Okay. I guess I'm going to sit here and have to listen, right?
It is such a privilege to be here today, and I am really looking forward to your insights on how to develop a business growth strategy.
Okay.
How many growth strategies have you now written and helped execute for clients?
Oh, I'd have to say to be about 1,381, and it'll
That's
be
very specific.
1,382 on Friday with a new client coming on board. And then I think there's another 5 that I've got to write by the end of the year, and 5 booked in for January. So we've been trying to crack that 1,400 mark for a while. So it's gonna be pretty good. And we document everything, as you know. So we try and keep it up.
It's a lot. As your wife, I know how driven and inspired you are to help others win in business, but also in life. I see how much it means to you. We especially saw this on the weekend at our Growth School Momentum Intensive in Melbourne. The energy and the outcomes were life-changing for 30 people in the room. Do you want to share some of the insights with our audience before we get into the questions?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as Simone reminded us at Growth School in Melbourne, that we've got 14. That was our 10th one, so
Wow.
that's 2.5 years refining. And then there's Jack, the best strategies out there. The best strategies out there, or the best strategist out there, Jack? Jack is one of our Growth School members, and he's an absolute legend. I got lots of great feedback about you, Jack, from many of the people in the room that are going to be joining us next year. You and Morgan absolutely crack everybody up. It's quite funny. And look, it was really exciting. We had our biggest cohort so far, and we also had 7 people who couldn't make it. So we're outgrowing all the rooms that we keep hiring in all the hotels. So it's huge. But what really blew me away is the community that is being built. I can provide people all the tactics, all the tools, all the strategies, but if they don't implement them and they don't go away and execute them, it's the onus is always back on the business owner. And yes, we'll support them, but wow, when you've got a whole community of business owners supporting each other, there is nothing more powerful, and it is absolutely inspiring. It's exhausting as well for me after 20 odd hours of strategizing, teaching, reflecting with them, and doing it all with a pretty stuffed back. It wasn't a lot of fun, but I felt invigorated, and I think that's the words that a lot of people used. I think Alison, it was her birthday on Sunday, and she got back home to her family and was like, I can't believe how, for me, that was a major reset. So, everyone takes away something different from the Growth School intensive events, and we call them momentum for that reason. Like, we want to build momentum. And, I'd challenge anyone out there who is in business and is out there and they're sick and tired of doing it on their own to come and have a chat to us, because we had Rana, head of sales, who came to the event to see it with his own eyes for the first time, and he was like, "Wow, it's just so even next level than what I thought." Alice, a long time one-on-one client of mine who's joined Growth School 3 months ago. This was her first intensive, and she just looked at me and she said, "This is insane. Like, it is just on another level in terms of outcome and deliverables." And to watch her, because we're in the same building, and to watch her so excited the last 2 days, going back to her team, telling them what they did, how they're going to do it, what their next steps are. So look, yeah, that was probably the thing that blew me away, and we never get tired of it, and we're always looking for ways to improve, which makes it a lot more fun as well.
I know our listeners are eager to hear about how to develop a business growth strategy. So let's get started with question number 1, if that's okay.
Yeah, please. Can't wait.
All right, cool. So question 1 is, what are the first steps in developing a business growth strategy?
Okay, so look, developing a business growth strategy actually starts with a very clear understanding of where your business stands today, right? And then where do you want to go? Now, really important. Where are you today and where do you want to go? Now, the first step is to actually conduct a very thorough market analysis to understand your industry's landscape, to understand your competitors, and to, more importantly, understand your customer needs. Now, this will help you identify opportunities for growth, as well as the potential challenges that could hinder your progress. So that's really the beginning of it. Then you've got to define your business goals. What exactly do you want to achieve in the next year, the next 3 years, and even the next 5 years? And these goals should be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and also time-bound. Really important. If you don't know what a SMART goal is, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So once you have a clear set of goals, you then need to identify the key performance indicators that will actually help you track your progress towards these goals. Now, Lucy, so many people, this is where they fail. They don't measure anything. So they start with all this excitement, they build all these opportunities, and then they don't find a way to track it, right? A bit like this camera that's just deciding to track me and move around. It went that way. I was like, "Where are you going?" Yeah. And that's lucky it caught my attention, and I thought I better move it back. But I think that what's really important to identify is those KPIs, and these metrics should directly relate to the aspects of your business that contribute to growth. Now, these are things such as customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, sales growth, profit margins. One of the biggest metric I use is growth margin. I'm really particular on that. I measure revenue and I measure gross margin. And as long as those things are in parallel while we're growing, then we know that we're growing positively. What a lot of people do is they don't realize that growth can be expensive, and that if growth will actually suck up all your cash. So, I think the stats are 63% of companies that go broke every year don't actually go broke because they didn't make a profit. They go broke because they ran out of cash. And that is the biggest issue, because people think that growing is easy. Growing is really, really hard. And this is why you need a really good growth advisor, i.e. me. No, seriously, that's why you need a good growth advisor to be able to keep you on track. Because I've seen people build the most incredible businesses. I'm talking, from startup to 300,000 as a sole trader, or, a bricks and mortar business to $3 or $4 million, and they've got no money. And they've been doing it hard, and they're burnt out, and they're exhausted. And they're like, "Why am I doing this? I've got nothing to show for it." You've got nothing to show for it because you've been going solo. And then when you've got the excuses like, "Oh, but I haven't got any money to pay someone," the money is an investment. I know that if you speak to Jack or Belinda, I don't think Belinda's online today because Belinda's gone back home to New Zealand after all these years. And if you are there, Belinda, I hope you're having a really good reset. You promised yourself 3 days of reset. And I hope that you're getting that and seeing all your family. But I think what's really important to recognize is that you got to track things, and you got to make sure you track your margin so that you're actually making cash, because you need cash to grow. All right. So with that in mind, with your goals and your KPIs in place, the next crucial step, Lucy, is to align your team with the strategy. Align your team with the strategy. And what you need to do is ensure that every team member understands their role in achieving these goals, and particularly how their daily activities will contribute to the business growth. Okay, so this alignment is crucial and critical for fostering a cohesive effort towards strategic objectives. So, let's walk through that again. You define. Well, let's start right from the beginning. You get a real clear understanding of why your business exists and where you want it to go. Right? You do your market analysis, you do your industry landscape, you do your competitor analysis, you do your customer needs. Okay. Then you build out some goals. And they've got to be smart. Then you build out your KPIs. Right? So with your goals and your KPIs in place, right? What do we need to do? We need to align the people. So many organizations fail to do this. So they hire people, they get them to come in, they do all this, or they do it themselves, and then they fail to communicate it to their team, right? So if you want to develop a high growth strategy that wins, you got to align your team with it. You got to communicate, because this alignment, as I've repeated I repeat this phrase all the time to clients, the alignment is critical for fostering a cohesive effort towards strategic objectives. And I couldn't be any firmer about that. So lastly, you got to prepare for what I call continuous adaptation. Okay? Continuous adaptation. The business landscape is always changing, right? We're always navigating. So your growth strategy needs to be flexible enough to accommodate new insights and changing market conditions. Now, regularly reviewing and adjusting your strategy based on the performance data and market feedback is absolutely critical. Okay. So in summary, you've got to start with a solid foundation of the market and its internal analysis. You've got to set clear and actionable goals, and you've got to measure your progress with relevant KPIs, as well as aligning and energizing your team and staying adaptable to navigate the business towards successful growth. And that is what we do in Growth School. We do that once a year. We do it every quarter. You've been coming, you take all the videos and collect all the stuff and all the fancy cool shit that everybody loves engaging with and liking, right? And but the reality of it is that's the challenging work that we do. And the best part is we do it every quarter, and then we do it every month, and we keep doing it until everyone's accountable and everyone's feeling supported and everyone's got clarity. Because the biggest risk to business is not the number of leads that you need. So many businesses are constantly going, I need leads, I need leads. Yeah, of course you fucking need leads, right? Everyone needs leads, but you actually need a strategy, right? You need to have a strategy in place. What are you going to do when you get those leads? What are you going to do? Every business owner needs to focus most of their attention on sales and marketing, right? But you need a strategy, especially if you're going to be employing 1, 2, 3, if you're an organization of 10 people, that means you're doing at least $2 million, $1 to $2 million just to be able to afford those wages. Right? How can you not have a one-page strategic plan to keep you focused? And how could you not have a strategist, external strategist, helping you with that to keep you accountable? Right? And a lot of those people that might listen, the answer is really simple. There's too many cowboys out there calling themselves coaches that don't know shit about business, that all they know is how to help people generate leads. All these people that teach people how to run ads. It's ridiculous. It's frustrating. As a strategist, I find it, insulting, right? That our industry is being plagued by all these people that go to a coach, learn how to lead generate, and then teach other people how to lead generate, and they call that coaching. That's not coaching, right? And that's why I refuse to use the word I'm a coach. I am a strategic advisor. You're laughing because I could rant about this all day long. It pisses me right off. I'm laughing because
you get so angry with me when I call you a coach.
Oh, and you're my wife and I get angry, right? It's just like, what the hell? And but you know why? Because it's like I don't want to be aligned with these people, right? Like it's like they've got no qualifications, and then they come out it's like, why? I mean, I don't believe that a qualification. By the way, anyone listening, young people in particular, I don't believe a qualification is a university degree, right? A qualification could be, you have had 2, 3 failed and successful businesses, and I find it really disturbing. I've had 80 ventures, 44 successful exits, and I've had 21 failures as well. 2 catastrophic. And I had to start all over again. Those lessons can't be taught at university. And how do I know that? Because I was also an adjunct professor at a Sandstone University in entrepreneurship, commercialization, and innovation. Now, they're credentials of a person that you want to work with. Now, they're great credentials, but if you don't align with that person, don't work with them anyway. Because again, if you don't have alignment, how are they going to align you? And I'm not the easiest person to get along with. You know, you're married to me, right? So the reality of it is I'm very firm and I've got very strong opinions on certain things, but those opinions is exactly why people want to hire me. So, and not just me, you're hiring a team. That's the other thing, like we had five coaches. They are coaches. We have 5 team members who are coaches. So it's not just me. You get a whole team. And that's what I walked away with is not just the strategy developed, it's the community that we've developed, but it's also how inexpensive it is, right? Compared to the other crap that's out there, it's ridiculous, right? And so that's the message that we want to get across. And I'm not jaded by it. I just love it. I'm so passionate about it. And again, that's what I realized, when we look at our feedback from all of our clients that were there and even the guests that we had, and you're getting scores of 9, 9.5, 10. Morgan was giving me an 8 because he has such high expectations of me, right? But anyway, that's the answer. I know I just digressed a bit and went on one of my little rants. I'm assuming you've got more questions, but one of the things that I want to say, anyone that is online listening, and I'm just going to check. Well, there is a few of you online. There's about 120 people watching, which is great. Like Jack, drop us a comment. Let us know you're there. We can't see all the comments. We can only see at the moment. I can only see what's on YouTube. But I think what's really important is today I'm going to give you a really cool framework, right, that we use with our clients. Whoa, camera's gone and moved around.
Don't do that.
Right.
No
Okay,
stuff.
motion camera. These fancy motion cameras, right? But we're going to give that away today to anyone who's listening and anyone who's replaying. And that's one of the foundational tools that we do in building our strategies. Now, why would I give it away? I'm going to start giving everything away, right? We call it brand width. We trained all of our clients on it, and we're going to give everything away from now on, right? So the point that you realize how much value we actually can create in your business, and you'll just join. I don't even want to get on a phone call. I want you to beg. I want you to apply, right? And I want them to interview the people to say, okay, come into the show. We're now at a size that we can afford to do that, and that's freaking exciting, right? It's really exciting. Anyway, you've got another question, I'm sure.
I do. I'm sorry to interrupt your excitement, but question number 2. How do you balance short-term gains and long-term growth?
Oh, good question. Hey, good question. All right. It depends. I'm not sure if I want to answer this as though it was me answering it or the response that I would give to our clients. Balancing short-term gains with long-term growth, right, is probably how I want to frame it, because that's the question you're asking, is actually a pivotal challenge. I have to get that word out. Pivotal challenge that actually requires a strategic blend of tactical agility as well as visionary planning. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but that is actually what it is. There's a strategic blend of tactical agility and visionary planning. Now, the key to implement these initiatives, right? Well, the key is that to implement initiatives, right, that drive immediate results without derailing your long-term aspirations. Okay, that's the way that I would explain it. Now, let me just, for people who are a little bit lost, one, you got to focus on the core, right? I talk about this all the time, right? What is the core? The core is, you start by ensuring that your short-term activities align with the core business purpose and values and long-term vision, as well as the competencies. This alignment means that even when pursuing immediate profits, you're building on a foundation that supports future growth. Okay? Even when you're navigating disruption, you remain focused as you pivot. So without a strong core, you can't succeed. I mean, Trent today, I was training, and Trent today said, we smashed it. I did. I think it was 41 ton, right, of lifting weights in 45 minutes, which is just absurd. And 20 ton of that was on the bench press, doing uplifts and downlifts. And he said to me, do you remember the first time you started training again, like 10 weeks ago? He goes, you would never even be able to do that set. Now you're doing tons and tons and tons of sets. And you know what? He said to me, look at your strength. You look at your muscle strength, but look at your stomach, because that's where you lift from, your core. So that's the importance of a core in business. Everything works from there. And then he decided to tell me, I can't believe how unfit you were. How did you even survive in life? And I was just such a prick. Right? I love you so much, but you're such a prick. And he's right. Okay. So how am I getting back into shape? I'm doing the reps. I'm getting up. Instead of waking up at 4:30 and doing nothing, I'm getting up. I'm doing 20 minutes of HIT. That's the whole idea, to strengthen my core so I can lift and do more. In business, the core is your purpose, your values, and your core competencies. So you got to feed them, you got to align them, you got to drive your people. Then another thing that people don't do enough of, right, is that while it's tempting to focus solely on tried and true methods, right, that guarantee quick returns, which is what we do with our clients, what we also do is we allocate resources towards innovation that will actually foster long-term sustainability. This is where you've got to have measured risk. Now, this might mean investing in new technologies, exploring new markets, or developing even new products that may not pay off immediately, but will position you as a leader in your industry over time, right? And I can give lots of really good examples of our clients who do this, like Bohu Engineering. I can't say anything right now, but we've just got a contract that's going to take us into the era of robotics, right? And this is a large structural steel manufacturer. But how do we get there in the first place? 2 years ago, we decided strategically to invest $8 million and build a brand new state-of-the-art hangar. I call it a hangar, but it's not. It's unbelievable. With 100-ton cranes and 40-ton cranes to give us lifting capacity. And now we've got, now we're going to be involved in sovereign projects in this country, which is incredible, employing more people, right? And growing and achieving our BHAG. I look at Lift, the day hospital that I'm chairman and advisor of. I've had the privilege of working with Lauren, one of the most incredible female founders of all time. And she, works her ass off and sacrifices, but it's the innovation in exercise medicine as a prescription. We've had market leaders saying if this was a drug, it would be on the PBS. That's the level of innovation, and we're the only place in the world doing it. So it's how do you do that? And they're really large companies, and I can give you lots of examples of little businesses too. But what you've got to do is you've also got to diversify your revenue streams. So to mitigate risks associated with short-term strategies, you've got to diverse all of those revenue streams that you have possible. So what did I do? I love doing one-on-one. I even made this announcement at Growth School, and people were trembling, thinking that I was going to wrap up Growth School now that we got it to this size. No, what I was saying to people is I miss the one-on-one work. And I have 5, 6 one-on-one clients. I'm independent chairman of 5 companies and a couple of non-for-profits, but I miss the one-on-one work. And that's why I've taken on a new, 7, almost 8-figure business. We're going to take them to 8 figures. Who employ 60 people, and we're going to rewrite that strategy, and we're going to look at the pivots in that business and look at expanding it. The founder's a super smart woman, and I can't wait to work with her. I'm actually heading there after this call, after I come home and have a shower and head out there. But it's all of those things. But you've got to diversify your revenue stream. So at Growth School, I went from one-on-one, where if something happened to me, I wouldn't be able to support my family, right? And so I thought, well, how do I do it? I went into group coaching. And then the group coaching work, have been able to replicate what I do one-on-one in group for about a quarter of the price, which has just been mind-blowing. And that's what, when I bring in my one-on-one clients, they're like, wow, this is insane. Can we do both? Because of the community that has been created by the people. But then what do? We created customers on demand, right? Because I realized that everybody needs leads. Everybody lacks confidence. Everybody needs, as Adrian says, a little bit of Christian in their life. So we went, okay, fine, let's create a baby program. And that program has underperformed dramatically in terms of numbers, but has overperformed in terms of outcomes for clients. 3, 4 of the clients in Growth School are people from customers on demand. I mean, that's a mind-blowing number. That people that are climbing up, and that program's what, $110 a week, right? No lock-in contracts. It's a game changer. If you're looking to generate leads and you're stuck, then you join that. Our Growth School members get access to that because it's the sales and marketing component, right, of the program. So it was just a way of how do we build these building blocks in order, A, to create additional revenue streams. But I finally found a way, rather than having all of these companies that do different things, all of our companies and all of our products now service our clients. And it is profoundly amazing, right? As an entrepreneur who used to build companies all the time and built them in different industries and different sectors, that was painful. This is just joy, because everything that we create helps our clients go that little bit step further. And so when you're looking at diverse revenue streams, that takes smarts. Don't just go building shit that goes everywhere. I've done it. I've made those mistakes. I can help you not make them, right? Then you've got to use a robust system to monitor both the short-term outputs as well as the long-term outcomes, right? Now, this dual focus will actually enable you to adjust those strategies in real time, okay? And that ensures that immediate actions contribute positively to your long-term goals. This is what we've created we do this with our one-on-one clients. I do it in our own companies. But what do? We actually have done this in Growth School, where we come together every quarter. We build out the 90-day priorities in alignment with our year plan. And then we do a 30-day game plan every 30 days, on top of meeting every single week for a live coaching session and a teach, right? Like that level of support. Because as an owner, even if you're solo or even if you've got a team of 30, that is so important, because then you can create the alignment. You come in there, you build it, and then you go back out. And again, I'm not trying to pitch this to people listening. What I'm trying to do is demonstrate, right? And I love to demonstrate. And growth strategies are my thing. It's what I love writing. It's what I love creating. So then you've always got to ensure that your team understands how their day-to-day work impacts the company's broader goals. And how do you do that? Well, regular communication about both the short-term objectives and the long-term vision. And this will actually help align their efforts, as well as reinforce the importance of the contributions across all the timelines, Lucy. And that's the other part that a lot of people fail to recognize. It's across all timelines. Okay. So, right, I was thinking I might give people an example, but I think we're going to run out of time. But look, maintaining this balance, you not only capitalize on the immediate opportunities, but also you build a robust framework that will support sustainable growth, ensuring that your business remains competitive, but also relevant to the evolving market and the landscape. I think let's wrap that question up there.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What metrics should you take to evaluate your strategy's effectiveness?
Am I giving away everything today? That's what it sounds like. I'm giving it away all. Look, I'm going to race through this quickly because I've just realized I have a squad call in 8 minutes. I've just been looking at all the bits and pieces around me. But look, tracking the right metrics is actually fundamental. As I said earlier, when you asked me the first question, some of the things that you have to track is revenue growth. So revenue and gross margin, customer acquisition cost, aka CAC. Then your CLV, which is actually your customer lifetime value. Most people don't know that one, but that helps you understand the total worth of a customer to your business. And it's actually crucial for ensuring that your customer acquisition strategies yield profitable long-term relationships, okay? Then what you want to do is you want to look at employee satisfaction and turnover rates. So employee metrics are often overlooked in strategy assessments, not in ours. So high satisfaction and low turnover rates generally indicate that your internal strategy aligns well with your business goals and it contributes to an overall stability and growth. Excuse me. So, we look at both our customer retention through the CLV and we look at our employee retention, right? And that's really, really important. So then what you've got to look at is and what we use a lot with our clients is the Net Promoter Score. This metric it measures customer satisfaction as loyalty. Okay, so it's a very powerful indicator of your strategy's effectiveness in creating positive customer experience and can predict business growth potential. Now, we use this as well internally as an employee promoter score. Okay, so you can flip those. Some of our clients, we look at market share. Understanding where you sit relative to your competitors is really important. I do this for our organization as well, and we are insignificant in terms of market share. And that's what excites me because we have so much opportunity, okay? So much opportunity for the smart type of clients that we want to work with. And so then what we do is we also look at things like operational efficiency. Sorry, I've just got stuff coming up on my screen. Operational efficiency, so improvements in process efficiency. We look at waste reduction. We look at cost savings. Every single dollar that you save is 100% profit. Every single dollar you save is 100% profit. And I cannot stop telling people that. And they always look at me with this look of fucking confusion, right? Every dollar you save is 100% profit. And often enough, we sit there and I say to our clients, every 3 months, do a review of your subscriptions. Look at all the crap you subscribe to that you don't actually ever need after the 3rd month and delete it, right? And all of a sudden, you know, if you've $100 piece of software, you've just put $100 of profit right back into your business. So I think that by monitoring key metrics, business owners actually make informed decisions that not only drive immediate improvements, but also align with their long-term objectives, which ensure the strategy is both effective and sustainable, right? So I said today earlier, if from people, if you've been listening to this, you know, give us a hashtag live at some point or a hashtag replay if you come back. More importantly, I'd love to know how many people are on live and replay, because we are looking at maybe not doing these as lives anymore and just doing them in the studio, recording them and then putting them up. But I think what's really important is today, for anyone who listens to this, I will be giving away a copy of our Thinking Behind the Plan document. It is the actual document I use in my in my client workshops. It's one of the tools. It is the tool that I think creates the absolute very best growth strategies. And what it is it's purpose, it's values, it's who, where, what, it's the words you own, it's the brand promises, it's the KPIs, it's the USPs, and it's the BHAG, right? And then what you do, you take that and then you dive into your long-term and short-term goals with clarity and purpose. And I think that, you know, the objective of a great growth strategy is all the thinking behind it, you know, and again, that's one of the things that we love doing every quarter with our growth school members. And I can't wait to do it with my new one-on-one client on Friday. It's going to be a huge day. I love those. They're like 5-6 hours long, and that's a short one because they've already done an amazing job in building that business to where they've gotten to. So we're just really looking at refining and looking for the quick wins. But Lucy, I think that's it for today. I think we've covered all the bases. We've great questions. How are our little people at home?
Too quiet right now.
Too quiet. I wonder what Leonardo is doing. Lavender's probably on her new sewing machine. She hasn't lost a finger yet, so that's a good sign. But anyway, I'll probably see you shortly after I've had my squad call. I'll race home for a shower and then I'll bolt out again. But hey guys, until next time, as always, live with purpose. Have an amazing week. Is there anything you want to say to anyone before we close it off, Luch?
No, I think you've covered it all.
No, you don't say much, right? But you look beautiful and I love you very much. All right, guys, as always, live with purpose. Oh, hang on, wait.
What?
Type in the word growth or DM the word growth and I'll send you the workbook. I'll send you the sheet. I can't believe I forgot that. Otherwise, how on earth are you meant to get a copy of it? So just the word growth into the workbook, into the chat or DM us on any of our platforms. Wow, we hit 175 people. That is huge that I can tell. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. We'll be back next week, and then it's going to be Christmas. So next week will be the last hot seat for the year. I'm sure we'll have something really awesome to you guys to hear. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Hot Seat. We hope today's session gave you valuable insights to drive your business forward.
Remember, every challenge is an opportunity for growth.
Every question brings us closer to the answers that can transform our businesses. Stay connected with us, follow our journey, share your thoughts, and be a part of our community.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss future episodes. Together, let's elevate your business to new heights.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Hot Seat.